95, where music lives. The views expressed in the following program aren't necessarily those of Power 95. Ladies Room. Come see you compliments. Renwick Thompson and Company Limited. Agents for Western Union.
2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6.
Education multiplies their chances and places the world of opportunity in their hands. No matter where they are in the world, make sure they're prepared for their journey back to school with Western Union. School fees, books, room and board, whatever the reason. Knowledge, independence, opportunity. Western Union, moving money for better.
And we're back up and running one more time. Good morning, everybody. I heard myself. Hold on. Okay, much better. Yeah, so we're up and running for another beautiful day on the road. So yeah, we're up and running one more time. Good morning, Shante. Morning, Betty Ann. Morning, Marianne, Judy Ann, Sonia. Yep, we're up and running. Sonia, you are aware of what's going on with 40? I'm 40 I caught this morning. I can't wait to go check it out, man. I'm telling you. It's crazy. I literally sleep in Grenada, but I'm in Jamaica every day. We just share the life. Okey-dokes, there we go. Yeah, it's almost like I'm living there. Morning, Rita. Morning, Valerie. Morning, Lisa. I'll check you out in a while. It's kind of occupied. Morning, Queen Bee. Morning, everybody. Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. I want us to have a really frank and open conversation this morning. I know a lot of the time, you know, these scenarios come in and, you know, we make fun and sometimes it's a little laugh here and there, but these are actually people's situations. These are things people are experiencing, and they, you know, come to the room because sometimes you just want to hear it from somebody else, you know, you just want a bit of advice from somebody else. You just want somebody else's take on it, because oftentimes we find ourselves in these situations and we're like, you know, you might think that maybe I'm the only one going through this. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the problem. But when you put it out there, you get different perspectives and you realize, you know what? Maybe it really isn't me, you know? But relationships these days seem to be harder than travel. I swear. Like, harder than 6 hours in the sun, cutting and picking up bush and grass, and it's, why is it so difficult? Why isn't it not working? But why is it working for some and it can't for others? Because there are many successful, healthy, thriving relationships. Not all every relationship that we come across is toxic and filled with negative energy, and there are some relationships that actually are thriving. It's healthy. It's filled with love. A lot of years. Not saying every day was smooth sailing, you know. Teach and tell, meet people, you know, get upset. People are different moods, especially women. The moods can swing. This minute you're good, next minute, you know, because there's just so much going on. So they have arguments, but not the kind that is disrespectful. Sometimes I just want us to kick back and, you know, talk about it this morning. What really is responsible for the failure of so many relationships? Why isn't it working? Why we don't have the patience? Why we don't have the respect for each other that will say, you know what? Yeah, maybe I was wrong. Maybe, and apologize. Or, I understand how you feel. I understand your perspective. I understand why you're upset. But it's like understanding has gone out the door and we're just so busy to call it quits. The minute something isn't going the way we want it to, it's like, next, goodbye. And then you move on to somebody else and it's the same thing. and then you move on to another person and it's the same thing, and it's like a constant, it's like a revolving door. You leave one thinking it's going to be better with the other, think the grass is greener over there, and when you realize that, yeah, the grass greener, but the water bill is also higher because it requires a lot of maintenance. And patience is something we don't seem to have when it comes to relationship. We want the instant gratification. You want to be happy now, and if I'm not happy tomorrow, goodbye. So let me just read what's happening. Good morning, guys, and share the live. Morning, Junice. Morning, Alex. Morning, Dwight. Come on in and hit. Morning, Della. Della, you down in your next home, or you at your home? Good morning to you, nevertheless. Yeah, so come on in, guys, and I'd love to get your feedback. You can hit me up on the WhatsApp, or you can call me. And I'm asking the question based on this situation this morning, where this person here wants some advice on her current situation within her relationship, where she says that so she says, good morning, Aruna. Hi, my ID. That now I've been trying to summarize everything to get some advice from the room. I've been in a relationship for the past 6 years, and I feel like I've been stuck one way since then, besides the fact that we recently just finished building. Now, but being there over those years, it was nothing but stress, drama, hurt, being cheated on, etc. We've had good times, but the bad outweighs the good. Yeah, and I need y'all to take a mental note of that part. We've had good times, but the bad outweighs the good. And every time a situation comes about and I decided, you know what, this is it, I've had it, I somehow still end up in the same position where he would say, oh, I need to grow up and stop making confusion and all these things. Now tell me, how would you feel when someone always playing the victim to situations they've created? So it's like I should just keep my feelings to myself, but when it's me, it's the whole world coming down for me. He's cheated several times, and when I found out, he denied, and there's times he'd accept it, like, yes, I messed up and can do better. And it made me think that things are going to work out a few weeks after we're back on the same level. We never go out, but whenever I'm not around, he's always out with his friends, and when I say I'm going out with my friends, it's an issue. He wants to always tell me when to be on the phone. Whenever I get a call, he wants to know who it is, and will take the phone to see, and mind you, his phone is never out of his hands or pockets. Now we're at a point where I feel like he's no longer attracted to me. He never compliments me. There's no affection there whatsoever, only when it comes to the sex, which is now sometimes once a week. Before it was 3 to 4 times. The things he would say to me now is clear. He doesn't want me in his house, but he's just not saying it to me directly, because one thing he's good at is making himself look good and pretending that everything is all nice and dandy to the public. I don't know if he's just there for the ride at this, and I'm doing all this for me just to get up and leave on my own and then make it seem like I left. But I've been praying to get out of this relationship. I feel like I've lost myself and I don't know what else to do. What am I holding on to? Some advice to get out and find myself would be nice. This is somewhat similar to yesterday. I guess that's what probably triggered her posting. It's sort of similar to the situation yesterday. But my question here in all of this is, there's a saying that God helps those who help themselves. So I'm not sure you sitting and waiting for somebody to come rescue you, or to come take you by the hand and walk you out of that house, or walk you out of that relationship, or you're going to get the gumption, you're going to find the strength to get up and leave. Because based on everything you're saying, what exactly are you holding on to? What exactly are you holding on to? I know we use the word narcissist a lot of the times, but this sort of reeks of narcissism in terms of the control and the gaslighting and making you feel everything is your fault. And if you didn't do that, then this would not have occurred, or this would not have been the end result if you didn't do this. It reeks of narcissism. But be that as it may, there are so many things wrong in this whole situation that is enough to like pelt foot out of that relationship. One, the minute time you get in a relationship and you feel stuck, that's it. There's no up, no down, no back, front, nothing. Once you feel stuck, you'll never be happy because your focus will be on that so much you can't even find anything to be happy about. Two, you said you've been cheated on several times. Three, you say you've had good times, but the bad outweighs the good. Now tell me, if it is so bad and the bad outweighs the good, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for to up and leave the situation that obviously isn't serving you anymore, that you're not happy with, that is so toxic and draining? What are you waiting for? How can you be in a relationship where the bad outweighs the good? Now, I could understand if you say, you know what, we've had more good times than bad. We're just going through this, hurdle right now, and I just need some help to, get over this hump. But it's more bad than good. So why would you stay in a situation where it's more bad than good? Are you that unhappy with yourself? Are you that... What is it? And there's a lot of people who stay, and I mean, I could say now, in hindsight, when you look back at some of the situations you gave so much time and attention to, when you really shouldn't, you're going to get to a point when you be like, wow, why did I stay so long in this relationship? Why did I waste so much time and I have nothing to show for it? Except, of course, your peace of health, your peace of mind. You can't put a price tag on that. And I keep stressing the need for people to work on their mental health and get to a place where nothing would bother you so much it triggers you into doing things you should not do or saying things you should not say. Sis, listen. Life is way too short to give your time to people who don't appreciate it. People who drain you of your little happiness that you might have, drain your energy. It is just too short. I don't get why people keep staying in these situations that they don't see any light at the end of the tunnel in. I don't get it. It's not like you guys are married and you have acquired assets and you have a lot of children and it is only you and him. What's the problem? Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Aruna, I am not a young man. I've been around the block more than once, right? I've met a lot of people in a lot of situations, or quite a few. Have given me different reasons for why they stick things. There are some with a misguided belief that they're doing the children. They don't want to mess up the children's life, when actually what they're doing is messing it up more. There are the people, it is easy for you, Aruna, to say, because you're an independent, strong woman, it appears, that they get up and leave. There are some people...
No, it's never easy, because just said a while ago, I've been there, so I understand sometimes. After a while, in hindsight, you're like, why did I stay so long?
Why did I stay that?
Because I've been there. I've been in situations where I ask myself...
To live into uncertainty. A lot of people, the fear of the unknown is the fear of the unknown is worse than a fear that you see now that a tiger is racing you down. I'm living here. What am I going to? What is out there for me? Am I going to be lonely for the rest of my life? Would I meet another J.A. just left? Am I willing to stay without J.A.'s in my life? Watch, these things are real. I'm telling you that I spoke to a couple of people. And it's easier said than done.
And you just hold on and be like, what if? What if it's somebody worse? What if, you know what you have already, you know what you get?
I know what I have, I don't know what I get in. You know, that's it. It is a horrible thing. If what you have isn't good, believe me, what you're getting is going to be better. I try to tell people that all the time. what you have is good, by all means, don't ever let it go for nothing else because it is good. If what you have isn't good, let it tail go. Whatever you get will be better, even though you get nothing. Nothing is better than bad thing. So it is difficult. And let me tell you something.
Because she's saying that the bad outweighs the good.
Good. So what is there? What they do? What she's saying in her mind, there is a little good. So put a leave outside there and I ain't get nothing good, boy.
At all.
Notwithstanding the bad. Next thing I go out there and it's all bad. I don't know what is getting. It takes something. I do not even know that I know how to tell people what to do. The only thing I tell them, like there's a particular one that speaks to me and I keep trying to tell her, get out. You are going to survive. You are going to survive. There are numerous people in this world, millions, who got out and survived, did well, did better.
And did even better.
Please go. You are going to do better. Whatever support I can give in any way, I am going to give. There are other people like me who willing to help you. There are people out there. And that man, let me tell you, narcissism is insecurity. Do you know that?
Yes, it is.
The most insecure people in this world are narcissists. And the only part you talk about why relationships aren't what they used to be, or they're somewhat bad one. We have grown in this world to be so selfish, materialistic, and insecure, and intolerant, and intolerant. So if I say that let's use a political example, that my party did so and so, they're good, you are going to cuss me out because your party is better. It is okay for I to say that my party is going to become what my party did for me. Your party didn't do it for me. It did it for you. So it is quite fine for your party to be the best because it did for you. People generally see goodness of as a selfishness of what I got from it. So you see, intolerance, and that's what caused most of the wars and things in this world. You know, intolerance. I like
the
what
patience.
I will coffee me in the mouth. I mean, let a man say what he wants. Now, what is the point? You're in the traffic, so you waste on a fella did there's this chap. The obstruction is on his side, but you run past it and you meet your middle there, and you who have the right of way say, I am not going back. I ain't going back. You are wrong. No, I know of a case with two people. One of them is a lawyer and a bus driver. Stayed in a particular situation like that from 12:01 a.m. to 2:17 a.m.
None of reason to move. Ignorance and
watch. That was beyond my imagination. I will easily reverse.
It's like people's discretion. I mean,
I don't really care. So it is. I find you stupid. You don't know the rule. You're ignorant and stupid.
I need to go. I have things to do. I'm not going to sit here and do the waiting game with you.
So I would say, even
if I have the right away and you end up in a situation like that, I'll be like, you know what?
I reverse. I go back. I have done that on several occasions.
Of course.
Yeah, once a man come and he cuts my tail, even when I reverse, he tell me, you son of a expletive. You should not go back and see what do you expletive. So I look at him nicely, and my daughter was in the vehicle.
Have a good day.
I look at him nicely and say, I hope your day improves. And my daughter couldn't believe that. She look at this man cussing you without parts of your mother anatomy, and you still want if they improve. I say, yeah, he might try that with some other idiot if he doesn't improve, and then the person might chop him. So I hope his day improve for his sake, not my sake. He may not meet a amiable person like myself.
Gotcha.
So that is but the most reason for lack of intolerance, selfishness, and don't ever rule out the materialistic world and what we see on TV and what is by all these fancy people who we think about what they see and what they do and what they say. For a lot of these, and even a lot of us elder people, and by saying elder, my man 60 years or thereabouts, saying that there is this age, I mean, we're still falling into the material thing with children. I don't know what went wrong from what we learned when we were young, but I find a lot of people around my age having the same attitude. Have to get this, have to get that. So sorry for taking so long, but have a great Thank you so
Got
much.
you. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. A really nice contribution today. Yeah, and I totally agree. I mean, at some point you have to, and it could be male or female. If you find yourself in a situation like that, sometimes you have to bite the bullet. Sometimes you have to take a chance. Because I've known several people who walked out, they left everything just to find that peace of mind. And they built something else with somebody else or by themselves. So holding on for the sake of holding on, it does nothing for you. At some point you have to be like, you know what? Not just say it, but mean it and do something about it. Not just say it every time something bad happens, but mean it when you say, you know what? I can't do this anymore. It's not working for me. It's not working in any way, shape, or form. I am not happy. I am constantly stressed. What really do you have to lose that you haven't lost already? Are you going to continue losing yourself over and over and over? To prove a point to who? Because if you're saying this person is all of that, then it's not to prove a point to them. Apparently, it's obvious they couldn't care less what you did or didn't do. They're doing them. But why do we continue to remain? And sometimes there are tangible reasons, but then when you hear some of the flimsy excuses, you realize it's just fear and a lack of self-confidence and self-esteem. Because everybody wants to be with somebody. I mean, we are created to be loved. If that was the case, like I said, when Papa God walked down and he saw Adam in the garden, he could have left him there by himself. Didn't have to create a companion for him. Could have stayed there and let him run up and down whole day, piggy all over the place and, just enjoying himself. By himself. So, we are created to be with each other. Everybody loves belonging. You love the sense of being, romanticized. You love the sense of being in a relationship. So my question is, how is it that when we just meet people, right? How is it that we go out of our way to impress them? We are considerate. We do things without even having to be asked. You open doors. You send little just because gifts or thinking about you, send you some flowers. How can we put so much effort into getting the person, and when we get them, it's like, okay, it's over. Finito, I got you already. Don't need to do anything more. No need to work so hard. Don't need to impress you. Why do we stop? Why can't we continue? Isn't that how you grow from one stage to the next and you keep the love flowing? But when you stop, what does that do? People honestly need to know when to walk away and when to run. There are so many people feeling the same way, stuck in dead-end relationships that are not going anywhere. It's not going up, it's not going down. There's absolutely nothing, no happiness, no nothing. And like she said, y'all were having coitus 3 and 4 times a week. Now it's once a week if she's lucky. It's like, hold that, to keep yourself quiet. Like some pity coitus. Why do we subject ourselves to these things? Why can't we realize when it's time, when a situation or relationship no longer serves us, realize it's time to walk, it's time to exit stage right? Why we continue to stay on the stage and be played with and become the main clown in the show? We became the clown. We're the star of the show now. You're coming to the right, you have to know when it's time to go through the left. But you can't just continue to beat yourself up. You're drowning in unhappiness and yet still remain in a situation. We have control over everything. But how come we don't have control over our own lives? Knowing when it's time to leave. Why would people rather remain in unhappy, abusive relationships than to be free? Wouldn't you rather be free and happy by yourself than be in a relationship that makes you unhappy, that makes you sad, that makes you depressed. Now tell me, why would I take my good self and remain? When you're young, you're stupid. You're thinking it's love for the person. But when you get older, at a certain point, you have to be like, you know what? I'd rather walk this journey of life alone than to be in a situation that is wearing me down. Sheena says a lot of people just cannot afford to be single. Even married couples just cannot afford to divorce. Dwight says people don't want to start over. They're thinking about the time invested. Time is always there. You start over and invest more time elsewhere. This time on your terms. But there's a lot of people, and Sheena is right. There are people who are married and listening who are in the same situation. And I sit and I'm like, what a way to live. That is a hell of an existence, to be around somebody you don't want to be with just because. Imagine going through all of life and having to settle just because. Some of us are really fortunate when you think about it. You might think you have it bad, but rather be bad alone than be bad with somebody else. At the end of the day, you still got options. But having to remain in a situation you don't want to be in, I can't think of. That's like literally punishing yourself. Self-punishment. Being where you don't want to be. You're not happy. But because of circumstances or investments, you can't leave. That is a hell of a way to live. Find something to knock on. Thank God for small mercies. I may have 99 problems, but that's not one of them. Just imagine that. Anyways, let me read some of the responses. Someone here, my advice to you is to do what you should have done a long time ago. Choose you, because no one else will. You gotta keep on choosing you over and over and over. It's over already, but you have not come to the knowledge. My question is, why people always feel they can't do better? Why accept so much disrespect and emotional abuse? Do you really know your worth? The $1 million question. This situationship has expired. Time to turn to the next chapter in your life. Time is short and can never be regained. Happiness depends on you. So do what you gotta do. See, long-term relationships can become toxic when communication and interest break down. Sometimes you love someone, but your personalities are just not compatible. The best thing is to leave. As this person here says, the man takes no accountability for his actions or how they make you feel. You can't make him do that. But you can hold yourself accountable for continuing to stay and accepting the nonsense. It's obvious he doesn't love you or even care about your feelings. His actions are a big contributor to the failure of your relationship, so stop fearing that you won't do better. Find better or be happier if you just walk away. We can't make you leave your man, but it's time to take care of you and stop waiting for this man to live his best life outside and come back to you. I was kind of concerned about that as well. Someone says we just finished building. He doesn't want me in his house. Which is it? Did you all build together? Did you invest in it? Did you put up any funds? Because how did it get from we just finished building to he doesn't want me in his house? Because if you contributed, it's your house. So I'm not sure exactly what the deal is here. This person here says, sis, you've seen and experienced it all. What else are you waiting for? Sometimes you have to cut what you think is your losses and move on. Forget about the 6 years and ask yourself, do I want to be in this situation for 6 more days, 6 more months, 6 more years? When you answer that question truthfully to yourself, you have your answer. Also, you are definitely dealing with a narcissist. If you do not understand these types of people, please do some research. These people are capable of making you self-destruct. Seek professional help if you need to, but as so many others said, You gotta beat it. So sis, if you're able to go on a solo trip, make it happen. Sit, analyze your situation, figure out your options, get your bag right in the meantime. If it isn't, focus more on you. Do you have a hobby, a passion project you could work on? So it's like you already know your answers, and maybe you need to work on perfecting your detachment game where you wouldn't know if Monday fell on a Sunday, and that's exactly where I am, where he's concerned. Use that trip to come up with exit strategy. I see similar situations in other groups, and everyone is always advising the lady to pray about it or go to therapy. But all she needs to do is leave. There's some things therapy wouldn't fix unless it's her that needs closure and needs healing for herself. And they need therapy to get to that next point, but not therapy to stay in the relationship or pray. You could pray until Jesus came down again, until they roll a stone away again from the front of the tomb. It ain't gonna change. It's not gonna change the price of nutmeg. You can pray all day long, but prayers don't work without action. You can pray, a way would open, and you have to take the opportunity. You just pray and sit back and do nothing and be like, yeah, handle this for me. You have to physically make the first move. You have to literally get up and make the first move. You can be on your knees all day in sackcloth and ashes, and if you're not prepared to like really leave physically, it's all for nothing. This person says, I think you have summed it all up, but just you're in a battle with your mind because you love him and invested time, but you'd be better off taking some me time. Let him go. All the signs are there in front of you. Another person says, narcissist with a capital N. Starting over is not a death sentence, as so many people believe. Take your time to heal and move on. Learn to love yourself more and know that you are your own cheerleader. No validation should have you second guessing where you are. You are strong, you are beautiful. Tell that man kick rocks with open toe shoes. And as this person says, only you will know when you've had enough of the cheating and disrespect. It sounds like you have. Are you happy? Do you see this getting better? Are you willing to stay hoping you won't get cheated on again? Do you trust him? Do you have the energy to keep hearing I'll change and it's only getting worse? Don't expect a man to change for you. See what they show you and act accordingly. Choose you, because you definitely deserve more than this. Another person wants to know why are so many unhappy people sticking around in toxic relationships. The $1 million question. If I got $1 from everybody every day for it, I'll be rich by now. Because someone says you basically wrote your own advice. Someone says 10 years ago I had a similar conversation. We were much younger back then. He said once, a cheat, always a cheat. I've seen it play out so many times. Best advice ever. And the mistake of a lot of young women, people especially, make is go investing their hard-earned money in the name of building together. When people show you who they are, believe them. Nothing is wrong with paying a bill or two, doing some groceries, but save your vex money for when you get out. Because that part is puzzling. Because based on what you said, y'all adjust together. You're not married. So why would I go building, putting on concrete structure on somebody's land? We never had the topic, or never discussed marriage, never said we were going to get married, nothing of the sort. We just basically shacking up together and you're putting down concrete, not knowing what's going to happen or where you stand really. Miss, get it together. All right? You can do bad all by yourself. And it's time that a lot of people realize that you can do bad all by yourself. You don't need nobody to do that. Like he said, some of these women get the advice and help to get out of this type of situation, and later the man sweet talk them and they back in it again. Boom. I'm telling you. True girl, if you're fed up with your boyfriend, let him go. Are you invested in somebody that you're not married to? How? I don't get it. Terrence, what you saying there? I've been saying for years the independent single life is the best you can choose, to be sad or happy all by yourself. Why do you need someone to do that for you? It's self-inflicted punishment. No good. A lot of people are doing it. A lot of people are doing it. Jacqueline, good morning. I did not see you make your appearance in the room. Hope all is well. Anyhow, I think we can go about our business now. Yeah. But anyways, miss, whatever you decide to do at the end of the day, you the one in the driver's seat. Shoes are on your feet. You know the extent of your unhappiness. The choice is yours. Are you going to go or are you going to stay? It's totally up to you. But I pray that you make the right decision and that you'll be happier for it. And you'll wake up and smell the coffee and realize, you know what? There is better out there. And I don't have to remain stuck. It's a personal choice. Yeah, so whether you've built, whether you invested, then you need to probably see a lawyer or somebody to help you in that regard. If you figure, you know what, you invested and you have your receipts to show that you invested in this property, you can get your money back, or you guys can come to some agreement, whatever the case is. Or you can walk away and leave everything and start all over again. New, fresh, from a good place. Yeah? So, I wish you well. And it'll be nice if you can come back and let us know what you decided. You know, what you're going to do. But thanks so much for checking in. Thank you so much, everybody. Well, there are many sides, but we can only work with the side we've got. We don't have the other side. We can only discuss, what we know. We can't discuss what we don't know, If only the other person came on and said, oh, this is what's going on, then we can discuss it. But we can only go with what we know until the story changes or the other party involved comes on and say, hey, I'd like to give my side of the story. This is my version. We could only speak on what we know. We can't speak on what we don't know. And that is what we do most of the times. When people come to the room with their situations, all we can do is discuss what they say, what they've sent in, whether it's edited, whether it's fabricated, whether it's true, whether it's false, whether it's whatever. I can't speak for the other party because I don't know the other party's story. As the saying always goes, there's 2 or 3 sides to a story. Mine, yours, the truth. Yeah, so that is the most we can do. We can only discuss the side that we know of until we get the other side, and then we have a complete picture and we can do, a well-rounded discussion on everything. But considering we only have one side, that's all we can work with, what we know. Yeah? So, I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. Thanks for checking into the room. Thank you so much to Western Union for taking care of us for another day. I'll see you guys back here tomorrow, same time, same place, for another edition of the Ladies Room. Shout out to the folks on YouTube. Someone just says they're viewing via YouTube. Thanks so much for checking in, Carol. Yeah, pleasure having you. And everybody else on YouTube. Those of you listening online or have been viewing live, I thank you. Later, guys.